Beautiful property, 1200 Gulf Boulevard, number 1805, right here in Tampa Bay. This is a penthouse suite, great opportunity, and the facilities at this condo are just the top-notch, highest and best that you could possibly see in terms of the fitness center, the beaches, of course, right there. You walk out, you got the beaches, the pool, the spa, out, all the different amenities. There's a nice area when you walk in, of a voyeur type area where you come in and you have billiards, lots of just different areas to entertain, and it's a gorgeous property, almost 4,000 square feet on the beach right here in Tampa Bay, and you've got terraces facing the Gulf and the intercoastal waterways, so almost a 360-degree view from this condo. So 1200 Gulf Boulevard, number 1805. Check out our video that we created as well. We put on Facebook. If you like our page, Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty, you can see this property. But what do you think about these condos now, Diane? These high-rise condos, and that's going to fall under that same luxury umbrella.
Yeah, we have and there's you're able to get those. We look at the condo project itself and the reserves and things like that. It's just like a normal condo, even though it's in the luxury area. So it's a lot of people are buying condos right now because they are more affordable. They're finding that they can actually, and a lot of them are luxury. So it's a good time to start looking.
And when you think about the luxury market, typically when you think about luxury markets, what are you thinking? Normally over $1 million? Is that where you kind of draw the line with luxury?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I kind of think of it over 750, but it's probably over $1 million right now because the market is good. And if you have and those homes, a lot of times you'll have good reasons. A lot of times this is maybe somebody that is maybe downsizing or going into more of a retiree type situation. Maybe they had their family there. And some people have the luxury condos, the second homes. I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people come down and, especially on the beach. We have a lot of people coming from up north buying as a second home. And it's usually a condo because then they don't have to worry about the maintenance.
Right.
So, yeah. So, but I think of luxury homes as anything over like, I don't know, $750, but probably more like $1 million. But like I said, it's, the guidelines now have loosened up, so it's a good time. They're almost back to the normal pre-COVID. So, it's a good time for people to actually get back out there and look. And, there's a lot of opportunities right now in that market.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, more from Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. We got John Long coming up here, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. One of our, we always try to make room and add in our local area charitable organizations, nonprofit organizations. And this is a great one. What a great cause when you see the demand so high now for human trafficking. It's unbelievable. We all saw what happened with Jeffrey Epstein and, similar stories to that. And there's probably, 1,000 times as many that are not getting caught that are doing similar types of things. So stay with us right here on the show. More from our expert contributors, plus our feel-good story of the day. This is a good one. Caseworker adopts 19-year-old who spent most of her life in foster care. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, giving a shout out to Chad Irrigation. If you're all of your irrigation and sprinkler needs on your real estate properties, you can access lake water, pond water, and of course groundwater. And Victor and his team do a great job over at Chad Irrigation right here. Another example of a local company, blue collar, muscular class company here in Tampa Bay. Reach out, let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Victor and his team do a great job. I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. Chad Irrigation on Facebook. You can find them there. Check out their page and get your sprinkler system upgraded. All right, hot properties here in Tampa Bay. We got a great opportunity. We got a bar for sale in Tampa Bay. If you ever thought about owning your own bar, 5402 US 92 in Plant City. Great opportunity here. This property is kicking off a lot of cash as well, $12,000 to $14,000 a week in income coming in. So corner lot location. You can also do some additions to the property. You can add a drive-through. You can sell package as well. So 5402 US Highway 92 is a bar that we have for sale out in Plant City. Priced around $795 is the price point. Great opportunity to own real estate here in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, sticking with the commercial opportunities here, 1602 East MLK, that's Martin Luther King Boulevard right here in Tampa Bay. Gill's Body Shop, available for sale. 1602 East MLK. Now, this is a reputable business, auto body business, that has been in business for 45 years. So you get a lot of walk-in traffic, a lot of referral business. Great opportunity right here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, John. So, talking about, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, how can our listeners get involved? What are some things that might be, volunteers, or of course, all organizations are looking for money. How can our listeners help you?
Yeah, well, we are a nonprofit, so we do depend on our community support financially. But beyond that, we also have education within our website. So if you go to our website, the USIAHT.org, there's training on there specifically for parents and educators on how to identify, how to know if your kid may be a victim of trafficking. And that's a huge thing, just educating ourselves as parents, knowing what to look for, and being involved in your kid's life. You'll be amazed on how many parents aren't involved in their kid's life and their social media life.
Right.
And that's how a lot of traffickers are drawing these kids in, because it's like the kids are sharing their whole lives right there on the internet with strangers.
Yeah.
And we know that kids have access to the internet all the time.
Yeah.
And with a smartphone, they're starting at age 3, typically is when a kid first gets a cell phone.
Wow.
Or has access to a cell phone. So there's traffickers on there that are grooming kids, that are pretending to be their friend, getting to know them through social media, and then drawing them into the life of being trafficked. And so, like, I have kids, and one of the things that I always do is I just ask my son, has anybody ever asked you for anything inappropriate? Has anybody said, send me a picture of this, or send me a picture of you with no clothes on? And my son is tired of me asking these questions.
Yeah.
But I want him to know that if anyone ever does,
Right.
he can come to me and tell me.
Right.
Because what's typically happening is these traffickers are saying, send me a nude picture of you. And then they hold that picture over this kid and say, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to tell your whole school, or I'm going to tell your parents what you're up to. And so just
Right.
being involved in social media in your kid's life.
Right. Wow. Now, the tips, yeah, so it's a whole new open door, right? I mean, that's a door that was not there 10, 15 years ago, right? So now this door is open. The perps can come through that channel And yeah, I mean, that's the main question to ask. What are some other ideas or questions maybe parents may have that you're seeing on a consistent basis?
We know that the number one way kids are trafficked is they don't have family support. They're vulnerable. Parents aren't involved. Parents aren't there. So just being, again, involved in your kid's life. And also knowing what your kid's doing on the cell phone and on the computer. On Facebook, they're putting what school they go to. They're putting, when their parents are at work or on vacation. And so just really educating the parent and then having the parent educate the kid. We can't just share everything on Facebook because you don't know who's looking at it. Yeah. And so, just educating. And if you go to our website, again, there's a video on there. It's only a 30-minute video, but it's focused solely on parents and how to identify not only with your kid, but when your kid brings kids over.
Yeah.
And you hear those conversations and, your kid's friend comes in with new shoes and they say, where did you get those new shoes? And, so-and-so gave me money to buy them. And just listening for some of those red flags and asking the right questions.
Yeah, exactly. Being on point as a parent. And unfortunately, a lot of parents are distracted. There's also a lot of gang activity as well. The sheriff has been on the show. Different folks have been on the show talking about gang activity. Last time I think we spoke about the crisis at the southern border. Just the unprecedented number of people coming across the border, and there's an indefinite amount of people that are coming through, making it through. There was a house, I think it was out in Arizona or Texas, that had like 92 people in it. Talking about a 5-bedroom, 2-bath house, they had 92 people, and the neighbors somehow didn't know. It must have come in the middle of the night or something. But talk about the effects that you've seen with the different gangs and what's the popular gang? I think they're here right now too. There's one that you always hear the name.
Yeah, MS-13 is typically what people think of.
Yeah.
And human trafficking it's going to be the number one criminal activity, specifically with gangs, because it's a renewable source. If you're selling people, typically a person who's being trafficked is sold for sex at least 10 times every day.
Wow.
And so that's a renewable source. And they're able to do that. They can travel easily. If you're in a car and you get pulled over by the police and there's 4 people in the car, you've got the trafficker with 3 women or children, an officer doesn't necessarily know that those people are being trafficked.
Right.
If they've got drugs in the back seat, that's easy to identify.
Right.
But people that are being trafficked are hard. So another thing we do is we help train and educate law enforcement on what to look for and what to do. But the gangs are using trafficking. They're going to these small hotels and just renting out rooms and going online and putting these kids and women for sale.
Wow.
And they're making billions and billions of dollars every year. I think right now it's a $140 billion industry.
Holy cow. That's crazy numbers. And yeah, it's true, because it's if you get caught, it's harder to get caught.
Right.
Especially now with the administration we have in there now, they're just flooding across the border, and there's a lot less checkpoints. There's a lack of resources now just because of what's happening. But wow, what a crazy thing. It seems like with these stings too, it just seems like you could do these online stings all day long.
They could. And we often focus again around those big sporting events. Yeah. And the Republican convention or Democratic convention, anytime there's a big party of people.
Yeah.
But we could do one today. Mm-hmm. And there would be people who are looking to pay for sex, and specifically with children. I mean, the last one they did, they caught a high school coach and a pastor. And so they run the gamut of professions. We know the typical buyer is a middle-aged white guy with a professional job and typically with a family.
Wow.
And so we could do these things every week and just find these people. And what we need to do is not just do these things, but then prosecute these people with the highest crime that we can prosecute them with. What often happens is they'll be charged with trafficking, but they won't be prosecuted for it. And so just pushing that through. I
just don't understand that.
It's hard to prove sometimes. And they want to put this person in jail the easiest way that they can with what they can prove. And so it's sometimes hard to prove that they've been trafficking individuals.
Wow. Yeah, unbelievable. We're talking with John Long here from United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, the website USIAHT. Or did I miss an A there? USIAHT.org.
Yeah, we tried to make the most confusing website
it's a long
that we could.
So, John, when you're talking about it, what else do we see? Because, the sports events, I could see that happening, just a daily thing, social media with parents. That's good ground that we covered. What else is out there?
These survivors who are trapped in this life, oftentimes I hear, well, if they want to get out, they'll get out. But we know that's not the reality.
Exactly.
These people are being held captive. They say that right now there's more people trapped in slavery than any other time in history.
And a lot of times with drugs, right?
With drugs, yeah, because either they're self-medicating because they're dealing with the trauma of being sold for sex over and over again, or the traffickers drugging them so that they would submit. We came across a lady who was being trafficked up in Missouri with her 8-year-old boy. They both were being sold for sex all the time. And they would drug her, put her in a car, and move her to a different state. And she would wake up and she wouldn't have any friends. She wouldn't trust anyone. They would tell her, if you go to law enforcement, your son is dead. And so they're trapped in this life that they can't get out. Wow. And so, again, we've just got to educate the community on how and what to look for.
Yeah, we do, man. Keep up the good work. John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. And we'll be right back more with Diane Vance. Also coming up, Nathan Ginter as well, Chief Technology Officer, Vine IT, VineIT.com. And our feel-good story of the day coming up. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page as well on Facebook, and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Diane, as soon as they switch things around in there, we'll get started.
Everybody's good, I believe. Yep.
Alrighty, everyone, please stand by.
Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and we want to help you win when it comes to buying, selling, or investing. Reach out. We'd love to talk to you to the hotline. Plus, on the hotline, you can get introduced to 80-plus categories, 50-plus show partners of consumer advocate content and advice, ideas to help you save money when it comes to your taxes, for example, CPAs, financial advisors, all types of great home services right here locally in Tampa Bay, roofing companies, service providers, inspectors, as well as a lot of niche businesses. 750-0550 is the hotline, 813-750-0550. Call or text the hotline, consumerqb.com. And a couple of hot listings here. I got a commercial listing over in Clearwater, Largo area, Clearwater Largo Road, 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. It's a commercial building, corner lot location, great opportunity. The owner said, Brandon, let's drop it another $10,000 yesterday. So we did a nice price drop on it, and the phones are ringing. So check out this property. It's a hot corner location, 2 garage doors, got an office, about 40 to 50,000 vehicles per day stopping by the property. 1780 Clearwater Largo Road, driving by the property, that is. Pinellas County, great opportunity, one of the most dense populated counties in the state of Florida as well. check out this great listing at 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. All right, we got a vacant lot in South Tampa, 202 South West Shore Boulevard. This is a great opportunity to own real estate right here in South Tampa, just 1 block south of Kennedy and on the east side of West Shore. So you talk about Beach Park, South Tampa, great location, Plant High School District, Coleman Middle School. 202 South West Shore Boulevard, vacant lot available. By the way, I've got about 15 other vacant parcels of land available for sale for any builder developers out there, or just a family that's looking to build a home. We got some great land and commercial opportunities for our business owners out there. Reach out to the hotline or check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions. If you want to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished, reach out to Replenish IV Solutions. 3 locations here in Tampa Bay. Plus, they can come to you. They can go to your office, your home. And Stephen and Lisa Gunnan, longtime friends of the program, make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, let's welcome in Nate Ginter. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, good to be here, Brandon.
Vine IT, Chief Technology Officer, making another appearance here on the show. And yeah, to give us a little teaser what you're going to talk about today, my friend.
Yeah, so we got a couple things. So one of the things that's obviously in the news, especially with the recent price explosion, is cryptocurrency and some of the interesting regulations that Amazon and Facebook are calling for, which is kind of strange. You're like, oh, these guys are asking for regulations, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah. And also a little public service alert out there. There is a bad Microsoft update that had gone out. It's been causing some trouble, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well, and some things you can do to prevent those types of issues and notify yourself when they're happening.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I like that. Microsoft, Amazon call for regulations as crypto laundering grows.
Yes. So there's an interesting stat about the crypto laundering thing. So do you know before cryptocurrency what the number one currency in the world for illicit activities was? The U.S. dollar.
Okay.
So I don't know whether we're just mad that we're losing our hegemony in that sector, but
yeah, it
is kind of interesting. I always, whenever I read these articles, about cryptocurrency, because there's pros and cons, with everything that that you look at, and I don't talk about it so much of an investment mechanic is more what it enables. And I mean, if you look at what it's doing in the third world, I mean, the ability for vendors to have a stable currency that's not dependent on whoever's running the regime at the current time.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
And those sorts of things.
You think about North Africa or in any part of Africa, right? Like, what's the currency?
Right. So it is a while it's not stable, by any means, it is on a day-to-day basis way more stable than the things a lot of these people have access to. So
right.
It's enabled whole industries to pop up and whole economies where there for 100 years there wasn't anything going on.
Yeah.
At least in any kind of place that's going to sponsor entrepreneurship and those sorts of things. So I'm a big believer in the concept behind the technology. I have yet to see anything that's really blown my socks off as the one where you're like, in 100 years, that's going to be what we're using.
Right.
And a lot of these, when it comes to, people talking about whether or not they should be classified, because cryptocurrency, by the way, is not a currency. It's classified by the government as an asset and taxable under taxable capital gains, which is kind of interesting from the way they approach those things. And but long story short, Amazon and Facebook have been calling for a clampdown and regulation on Bitcoin itself, and also have put in some feelers about Ethereum. Ethereum is a little bit different technology. It's escaped a lot of the scrutiny because Bitcoin's the 300-pound gorilla. But interestingly enough, when you dig deeper into what they're up to, both Microsoft and Facebook are researching their own cryptocurrencies and actually already sort of have them in a way that a lot of us aren't aware of, with like different service credits and tokens and things that you can do. Anytime you're playing an online game where, hey, buy 60 gems and you can purchase that, that's technically the same thing as a cryptocurrency. You're converting money into their private payment system.
Yeah, exactly.
So with them looking to kind of clamp down on these things, it is very interesting.
Yeah.
China has already released their own cryptocurrency, and actually for every dollar, relatively speaking to their currency that you put into their digital system, they will give you $1.10. So they're actually buying people into their system. Yeah.
It's not only that too. What's interesting is like Mark Cuban has one. I heard Gary Vee talking about launching one.
Right.
And it's like, okay, how many of these things are we going to have?
And
and what Gary talked about was a value add. He's like, oh, well, if you buy mine, so they're all incentivized. If you buy mine, you can go to one of our events for whatever VIP pricing or whatever it ends up being, right?
Sure. And that is one of the concerns with us not adopting sort of a unified system is that, can you imagine if every store you went to, you had to have their own digital currency to shop online?
Exactly. Where does it stop?
Yeah, and my I think where it's ultimately going to go if they don't come up with something, or we don't as consumers through the market decide that there's going to be a king currency, is that you'll end up with kind of like a fast pass concept where I get one price on Amazon if I pay with a credit card with US dollars, and if I convert them into Amabucks or whatever they call them, I get a 10% discount or something of that nature, and you end up having to keep money in all these separate different silos.
Ridiculous.
Which you would hope we stay away from. But I always say, especially with an emerging technology like this, the government's always very far behind on what its capabilities even are. There's a lot of questions as far as when it comes to actually utilizing Bitcoin. That goes over the same traffic as like websites. It's not like something they can just throw a firewall down and say this is gone. It's always going to exist. So I would just say if you hear your lawmakers start talking about specific things they want to implement, just be very careful about that.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to talk with you more about some of the things that not only personal computer owners, and of course we all have the smartphones now, but businesses as well, because I know that's a part of your business at Vine IT. I want to talk to you about that. I want to go to Diane though. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Diane, what are business executives thinking? What are lending institutions thinking or talking about when it comes to Bitcoin and these online currencies? And you heard what Nate just said about these again. Mark Cuban coming out with his own, Gary Vee coming out with his own. Is that going to affect the lending side, or is this going to be like a temporary phenomenon?
Well, we don't recognize it. We can't use it as assets for down payments and things like that. It can't be used for closing. So if anybody is planning on doing that, what they want to do is go ahead and cash in their Bitcoin 60 days prior to closing and put it in the bank. So because otherwise you cannot use it. But what they're going to wait and see. I mean, if the federal government adopts it, I don't think Mark Cuban's or one of those is going to be a Bitcoin that, lenders would actually permit. But if the federal government comes and I think that's what they're talking about is, I kind of think that, I don't think it'll take over the dollar, but I think it'll be, personally, I think it probably is something that will, continue. I'm the same way 100 years from now. I don't know that will be the only source, because it is very easy to money launder. That is one reason that most lenders do not. Well, that's why the federal government hasn't actually recognized it. But it's an interesting. I'm not quite sure. I really follow the actual how it's actually backed or how it's actually, I don't know, it's very confusing to me, but, I know there's a lot of people that some people make a lot of money, but they also lose a lot of money. And by the way, I'm having the problem with the Microsoft issue today, matter of fact.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the Microsoft issue coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because, right now, too, the Biden administration's talking about, trillions more dollars on top of the trillions we already passed. So when you look at the inflation, just the printing of money, and it's like everybody's getting a free check. I was talking to one of my business partners the other day, and they were saying, yeah, so-and-so, my grandma got another check, and she didn't even know what it was from or why it came. And I also heard another statistic this morning on another podcast I was listening to, Patrick Bet David, and he was talking about it was like 32% or 34% of the overall wealth this last year was transferred. So you're talking about a payment from the government to the people. So it's like socialism 101 coming at us right now, Bernie Sanders special coming at us. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It's kind of scary for lenders. I can imagine lenders and the big organizations. It's scary for a lot of people, and I feel bad particularly for our seniors, because when these interest rates are where they're at right now, these seniors, their retirement, their payment, their pensions are all hurting because it's kind of an inverse relationship there. When rates are low, so are their so it's an adverse relationship.
So is their income.
So is their income. Yeah. So it's hurting all their structured payments, and it's been doing that for a long time now. So it's like, wow, a lot of different people are getting, screwed over proverbially for just living in the United States and dealing with this whole political climate. It's such a polarized climate. It's like one party does one thing, the other party does the other, and it's like, man, we're fighting too much. We got to get back to helping the people. The government's there to help the people, not to help the politicians pad their pockets even more.
Exactly. And they need to come together and forget the parties and just start working together and play nice. And I agree. And but they're still quantitative easing, so they're still involved. That's the reason the interest rates are staying where they're at. They are still putting money into the mortgage-backed securities. I know that the UK is going to end their quantitative easing at the end of this year, but we have no plans to do that right now. So I think we have a while yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, more from Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. We're going to get our top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom from both Diane and Nate Ginter here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day is a good one. Find out about this caseworker that adopts a 19-year-old who spent most of her life in foster care. Feel-good story of the day coming at you right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty here helping you win in your real estate deals as well. If you're buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you. Of course, 5103 Rose Place, Pinellas Park. This is an affordable property. I'm actually surprised it's still listed. It's in the like $70,000 or $80,000 price range, I believe. 5103 Rose Place, Pinellas Park. Affordable home. It's a condo, but it's a single-family structure, detached. You got 1,000 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Number 263 right here in Tampa Bay, Pinellas Park. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, so that's kind of interesting, actually, what we were just talking about. I want to bring that up. So we're talking about Amazon set to launch its own digital currency. Everybody's getting into these currency game, and then I was mentioning that to Nate, and he said, yeah, this whole Bill and Melinda Gates split up is going to be kind of revealing for some of their assets, right?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things that you can do with different corporations, and ways to hide things until you have to break them in half.
Yeah.
And a lot of records become public that we don't currently have access to. And I was reading an article yesterday that says that the two of them right now combined may be the largest single farmland owner in the United States, possibly the largest real estate owner. So a little something in your neck of the woods that'd be kind of interesting to see. So watch and see. We already found out they own 2% of Canada Rail, and they own about 7% of AutoNation right in our own backyard here.
Wow.
So that's just a couple that have come out already.
Wow, yeah, exactly. And you look at the farmland, because that's going to be there's going to be scarcity. There already is scarcity there. Then you look at freshwater farmland. That's one of the big things as well that comes up when you think about China, trade with China, and the tariffs. And especially when Trump first took office, I remember talking about that, is, the Chinese love their pork bellies.
Absolutely.
They love their pork products.
And, as a nerd, I have to give you a Superman Returns quote. As Lex Luthor said, real estate is the one thing they're not making any more of.
Yes,
so.
I like that, actually. That's right. That's true. And especially waterfront, the more limited you get, the more opportunity. Now, they are building vertical, which I think lends to a kind of an abnormal lifestyle in terms of, traditional. And that's where I see, you see in the big cities some of the, the different things
may
happen
not
there.
be the wave of the future, given some, I don't know, I think we had some kind of health issue last year that made packing people in together maybe not the greatest idea for your long-term design plan.
Yeah.
But
and then the governors and the mayors locking you in that little box that you live in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
people are like, whoa, I can't even go to the park. I can't go out to go grocery shopping. And that's why we see the blue to red big time move in terms of real estate trends and movement. Diane, back to you. I wanted to bring you in on that conversation as well. You look at the migration patterns, southwest, and then of course blue to red is happening now. We're seeing it a lot. The governor Ron DeSantis is doing some good things to keep us open, keep us happening. I believe the Pinellas County, John, did the Pinellas County commission clear the mask mandate too? I heard that happen. They did. Okay, so Pinellas County just waived that mask mandate. Now each individual business can require that as they see fit, and if their customers will continue to patronize their business. But what are you thinking in that space, Diane?
Well, I think that I think it's probably time that we all, I don't mind wearing masks, but I understand. I mean, I've been vaccinated, but I think it's a good thing that people are actually realizing that they can get out again. They can go out and do things. They can go to a restaurant. They can go, and they aren't feeling so anxious about it. So, but as far as people migrating, there are so many people moving to Florida. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you see it in the traffic, but there are so many people that want to move from the north to the south, and one of the cities that were really shut down was Chicago.
Yeah.
My son lived in Chicago, and he said, he moved back to Seattle because Chicago shut down totally, and and it's still shut down. I think it's starting to open up back now, but it wasn't even a choice. And all the businesses that's the reason he bought where he bought was because there was local businesses and things like that. Well, they're shut.
The walkability.
They're now Yeah, they're boarded up now.
Yeah.
So it's not as important. I don't think you'll see big cities. I mean, I may be wrong, but I don't think you're going to see them come back to the full capacity for quite some time.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
I think a lot of people are moving to the suburbs, and a lot of people are looking for, a house or, and there's, I think if you have condos and people living together exactly, like we talked about, I think you're going to have, special systems in place that people are comfortable getting on the elevators. People are comfortable being packed into a condo or something like that, or apartments or whatever. Yep. So I think we just changed the way we've done, the way we live life. And I think we have to adjust and get back to business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I think.
All right, good stuff. Let's jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in
All right, our lightning round is top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Let's start right here in studio. Nate Ginter, Chief Technology Officer, VANCE IT.
So, number one thing you want to do is make sure you keep your computers updated. There's a recent bug out for Windows there that slowed everybody down. They've released a fix for it. Type update into your search box on Windows 10, and it'll pop up a little interface. Just hit update, and it'll walk you through installing those, getting your computer rebooted, and bringing you back where you need to be. And if that doesn't work, give me a call.
There you go. VineIT.com is the website, VineIT.com. All right, Diane, got any nuggets of advice for us?
I do. Make sure you get pre-approved before you like a house or before you even call an agent. Do it ahead of time. It does take us some time to actually approve somebody, so don't wait till you're at the house out in front of it wanting to get pre-approved. So
exactly.
Just make sure that you get pre-approved ahead of time. Make your plans. Do it, the week before you want to start looking at a house at least. Don't wait till the day or the day before.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so important. And, I do some coaching. I do some public speaking. And these are some really simple things to think about if you're looking to improve your station in life, as Jim Rohn used to say. But number one, what are your inputs? What are you feeding into your brain, right? Are you listening to music that may not be, the best type of use of your time? Maybe you want to look at a podcast or something that's going to help you grow your mind, grow your business, grow your professional career, right? So what are you inputting into your brain, right? Reading, different things. Associations, who is influencing you, right? That's going back to the old thing of the five people you hang out with, you become the five, those types of influences are going to really hang on you as well. And Harvard Dr. David McClellan said if your reference group determines as much as 95% of your success. So just by who you're hanging out with. And then number three, the environment. So what are you doing to improve your home, your office, your environment that you live in? There's some things you can do there as well, and it goes to your office as well, office trends, and a lot of people are doing Zooms and those types of things now, and that's the other big debate in real estate is where is this thing going to go? I know some old school businessmen are saying, hey, there's a comeback. They're saying, hey, we want you back in the office. There's only so much Zoom you can do. Nate, any comment on that as far as Zoom versus hey, I have some camaraderie in the office. We have some interplay here.
So what we're seeing across all industries, where we're seeing that for sure. The biggest thing is kind of take a hybrid approach at first. Don't try to force everybody back all at once.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a landing strip that you might want to put in place there just to get people used to the difference in the routine. A lot of companies are finding that their employees are resistant to returning back to work.
Back, yeah.
So I would say over the next month or two,
they can resist somewhere else.
Right, true. That's very true.
Don't resist somewhere else, my friend. I got other people waiting for you. But yeah. Hey, another great show. I want to thank all of our expert contributors, John Long as well, Nate Ginter, Diane Vance. Awesome stuff. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.